I want to ask you a question. Who's coaching you? Who's asking you the tough questions? Who's telling you, man, you're the common denominator to all of your issues and challenges? Who's telling you, man, all day long you become the magnetic pulse that attracts to you both good and bad? I want to be your life coach. I want to be the one that cheers you on to the finish line. I want to be the one that you ask the tough questions. And it doesn't mean that I have all the answers, but that means that you have a partner, someone who believes in you, not the you see right now, but the you can't imagine, the you that you are to become, the you are destined to be. I always say we both need the positive and the negative. It's not enough to have the knowledge of the matter, but we must have the wisdom as well. For wisdom settles it. And that's what I want to offer you as you join me on the Coach's Corner. I want to offer you the wisdom of the matter. Maybe it might be relationships, talking about our campaigns for more, for life, the dark room of our subconscious, our spiritual journey. Whatever it is, I want to be there to encourage you, to build you, to challenge you, to cheer you on to the finish line. I'm qualified to do this. Why? Because I'm you.
Thank you so very much for joining us right here for another edition of the Coach's Corner. My name is Marcus Salette. Assuredly, as I come to the microphone, I bring issues with me. Assuredly, I promise you. Personal and professional issues, but from them I have gained wisdoms and understandings from the scars of the journey of life, and I trust that I can earn the right to speak into your life. And most assuredly today we're going to be discussing MDCS. Do you have it? Manipulation, domination, control issues. MDCS, do you have it? But first, let me thank all of my listeners, my new audience on Blog Talk Radio. I want to thank you in advance. Those of you on Spreaker, thank you for those that are subscribing on iTunes, and those that are watching our content, unrelated, of course, related to other things, on iBroadcast TV, that also tune in to our radio programs. Thank you so very much. Thank you for those that are following us on Twitter and Facebook. Thank you so much for those that are listening on Shoutcast Radio Network. And thank you so much for those that are listening via the website 415-96.com or www.sibnradio-SaletteUSATV.com. Let's go. Thank you, Mr. Engineer. Today, the question is, do you have MDCS? Manipulation, domination, and control syndrome or issues. Should be MDCI or MDCS. And I don't have any plans for this, just to talk straight from my heart as I always do. But it's just interesting to me that we don't know our own issues. And let me just start off by saying that on the onslaught, we should be a little bit more integral, but we're not. And that's one of the reasons why relationships stall. You ever remember when you were growing up, you would be, riding with your parents or something, and you'd see a car in the middle of the freaking road, and you would ask your mom, why isn't that car moving? Because it stalled. How many people stall because they just don't want to hear something? Whether it's the truth, whether it's coming out the way they want to hear it or not, which is another issue. That's another control issue. I want the truth, but I want it delivered to me on a silver platter. I want the truth, but I want it delivered the way I like to hear it, the way I like to taste it, the way I like to smell it. Well, that's not the damn truth. That's a lie. If the truth comes to you every way you want to hear it, it ain't the truth. And one of the reasons why relationships stall in today's vernacular is because we don't want to hear the truth about anything. We want to continue on the way, I was watching a news segment. I won't call the network, but I was watching a news segment. And this famous political Republican figure was being challenged by a famous news anchor. And he asked him the question. He said, well, what about the ranching, the continual argument about the birther movement, the birtherism argument and ideology, if you will, because it's become an ideology now. Some people have dedicated their lives to prove that President Obama is not a citizen. But he was asking them this question, and so the famous Republican person said, well, that's in the past. That's in the past because, Donald Trump was supposed to be speaking at CPAC, and, and so, they were wondering whether or not he was going to bring up the birther issue. And, this famous prominent Republican person said, oh, that's in the past. And that's what we do. We've got our talking points down great, man. I mean, we've got a strong chokehold on folks that really love us, you know what I'm saying, so that we can make sure that they don't disseminate to us anything authentic, and that they give us what we want and when we want it and how we want it, and then we wonder why we don't grow, and then we wonder why we don't maturate. We wonder why we're frustrated. We wonder why we can't get any further down the line in the journey of life, because you have subscribed to a truth that is unreliable. You can't have it both ways. You can't have growth and control. You can either have growth and no control, or control and no growth, but you can't have both. I'll say that again. You can either have growth and control, or control and no growth, but you can't have both. There is no way that you're going to grow by trying to manipulate, dominate, and control every aspect. And you know what? Many of us are doing it without even realizing that we're doing it, but some of us have a dang on clue that we're doing it. You know that in your mind's eye, you think you are right. And this is one of the reasons why I always say practice OBM, opposite behavior modification. I've been saying that in my shows. Maybe I need to say it more often. You need to practice OBM. OBM is this. It's my own personal philosophy that I'm still working on, still trying it, but it does work. OBM means what you would normally do, you don't do. We're not talking about giving up values and ethics now. We're just talking about behavior, pattern behavior. And what you normally would do or would wish to do. For instance, you would wish that at some times in an argument that you would just be quiet, sit and listen, and then somehow walk away with some level of comprehension. That's your wish. I guess you say that ain't happening, right? And I mean, you wish you wouldn't fall into that temptation to just give a piece of your mind and just go to freak off, right? Well, guess what? The day that you decide that you're going to practice OBM, and you have to, when you start seeing the trigger words fall, when you start seeing the peripheral saturated with the environmental stench of your past, then you have to make a conscious decision. Okay, today I'm gonna practice OBM. I'm gonna practice opposite behavior modification. Now, for those of you that are scholars out there and therapists and psychoanalysts, that's my word. It's not something I read in a book somewhere, but it's just something as I was sitting, I said, you know what, in order for me to mature and get rid of this frustration and agitation, I am going to simply do something different than that's all you're really doing, is you're doing something different than what my pattern behavior normally produces. I'm going to behave in the opposite manner expected. I felt that right there. I'm going to practice me some OBM, okay? Opposite behavior modification. What you would normally do, you do the opposite. You normally would quit, now stick to it. You normally would talk, now be silent. You normally would run, now you stay. A lot of men know about that one right there, okay? You normally would flirt, now you honor. You normally would get mad, now you analyze and let go. You normally would, shout it to the mountaintop and tell everybody a piece of your mind. Now you have peace in your mind as you sit in solace and tranquility. OBM, just try it. You like it. But the bottom to my point is this. Manipulation, domination, control issues are not going to be solved automatically. And you know what? What's amazing to me is the people that have the slickest ways of getting away with what they want, they have a very difficult time being honest until sometimes it's too late. There's a song, I wish I had the lyrics, it says, it's too late. It's too late for me now. Something. But manipulation, some of you guys are masters at it. How to work the nerves of those around you to orchestrate their actions and their response mechanisms to give you or to deliver to you what you want, of which that what you want isn't good for you, but you don't care about that. All you care about is your way. And in addition to that, your way so strong is your way, or your desire for your way, that it has a dominating effect. I've seen, remember what Dr. King said, I've seen with my own two eyes that domination is something to be dealt with right there. See, you're not even conscious of what you're doing. But then again, you do have a clue, because every now and then you get stick with a straight pen and you say, what the heck was that? And that was somebody telling you you're not getting your way today. You see what I'm saying? It's the same way with corrective behavior modification. Opposite behavior modification is when you decide that you're going to do the opposite, but corrective behavior modification, in my view, these are terms that I made up too, by the way. Corrective behavior modification is when you decide to correct a course of action without force, turmoil, or tragedy. That means in an open air, voluntary environment, you decide, I'm going to correct my way. Okay. And then we all have control issues. Control issues also start with a way that things should turn out, a way that things should be. One of the scriptures said, train up a child in the way he should go. And when he's old, well, the key word there is got to be old before he gets it. Okay. I mean, if you have control issues, that scripture has already given you the antidote. You got to wait till he get old. Well, how many years is that? Train up a child in the way he should go, right? He should clean his room because I showed him, trained him, even went up and showed it, demonstrated it to him, her. He should get good grades because I've taken the time. I've done the homework with him. I've explained. I've shown. I've projected. I've participated. All he should. She should know that I love her because I've bought her a car, whatever the case may be. Control always starts with the logical argument of what should be based on all the congruent evidence of having done the right thing, quote unquote. it should work. That's what I hate about people who are always giving advice. Now, there's some people that are always giving advice. They never admit that they have a problem themselves. They never talk from their own personal experiences. They're always giving advice and criticism because I don't know why they do it, to be honest with you. But they always give advice. And then for those, the gullible ones that run in that same clique, that run in that group, that clique, and they always take the advice. And then when it doesn't work out, they run back to the one that they got the advice from and they say, well, it didn't work because nothing goes like it should. Nothing goes the way it should. This is what churches need to understand. This is what Christians need to understand. This is what the world has to understand, that nothing goes as it should. If it's to be, it's up to me to be free, but it's not going to be that way because it should be. Manipulation, domination, control. And the sad part about these three things that, in my view, make a syndrome, when you've woven them together and you've become a master witch, if you will. Yes, I said it. You become a master witch, if you will, because you can get people to do what you want, when you want, because you want it, because in some cases they want to help to do or to fulfill whatever it is you want. Some people have become masters. Oh, you know what? I forgot to add in the title, rebellion. Because manipulation and domination strength comes from early rebellion. And we're not just talking about kids here. We're not just talking about kids here. So don't be thinking about your kids. This is grown folk talk right here. This is grown folk talk. Manipulation and domination control issues are strengthened. The syndrome comes, the roots, as they used to say, in the deliverance church. The root of the matter starts in rebellion, where you just simply don't do as you're asked, where you just simply allow others to interpret what you're told, where you take the instructions and you invert them and you project the problem from the instructions given. You project the problem on the instructor and not the student. I need some help right there. And so you've become a master at manipulating and dominating, controlling the environment, controlling outcomes, though it never happens just as you imagined it. It never happens because even for the good, nothing turns out like it should. So even for the bad, nothing turns out like it's planned. I need some help right there. And so the question today is, do you have MDCS? How honest will you be? How many more men will you have to go through? How many more silent nights will you have to endure? I think that sometimes rebellion is shut down with a prayer and with the holding of the tongue. Because there's this new thing that I've noticed, and maybe somebody can email me a different perspective on it, but there's this new thing that I've noticed that parents today and couples today and, on and on and on, the exchange of covenant responsibility, there's a lot of repeating of yourself. What is this? My mother rarely, I won't say never, but she rarely repeated herself, which is another form of control, by the way. We're so messed up. It's a shame. We need a lot of wisdom. Do you have MDCS? Because MDCS people are very sensitive. They don't like to be criticized, and they don't receive criticism. And before you get the criticism all the way out of your mouth, they will have a worm on the hook as to why the fish couldn't be caught. Did you get that one? I mean, the bait has been given. Why didn't you catch the fish? You know the answer. At least you articulated the answer. You repeated back to me the instructions that we just discussed. But because you have MDCS, you worked it your way anyway. And now you have already pre-programmed yourself to respond, and you have already pre-managed your emotions to project at the right instance, at the right moment, how that it is never your fault, it is never your responsibility, and you owe no accountability to anyone, because the excuse has, in your own emotional base, in your intelligence base, in your mind, in your soul, has been legitimized. Legitimized excuses is logic gone amok. I'll say that again. Legitimized excuses is logic run amok. You can't get any change accomplished. You can't get any progress done if you're always legitimized excuses. And, you know, in today's vernacular, when you see rebellion, manipulation, domination, and control issues, the first thing you're going to hear is the legitimized excuse. Well, I was going to go, but the moon was shining on the left, and then I saw the sun was going to come out, and then this car rushed up, stopped right there at my tippy toe, and I began to sweat and profusely, and then all of a sudden a patch of my hair fell out in the back, and I had a bad, sharp pain in my right side, and that's why I couldn't get it done. Sound crazy? 'Cause it is. MDCS is serious, okay? It's I mean you should go get diagnosed and get some therapy from your own doctors. I'm just simply telling you this. It's the reason why you can't grow. It's the reason why we can't flow. It's the reason why we'll never know the center of our purpose, because we're busy evading the law of gravity in this situation. And the law of gravity is nothing never goes as it should. Nothing. If it's to be, it's up to me to be free. I've got to do something different. I've got to do something consistent. I've got to have a determination above all odds, and I've got to win in the end. So say I. I felt that right there. If it's to be. But, you know, I think that the other argument in the few minutes that we have left, we have so enjoyed the fruits of our MDCS that we don't want to let it go. And you know what's going to happen is, I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. What's going to happen is someone is going to you're going to meet your match. It always happens that way. It always happens that way, because that's the law of opposites. You can't do one thing and then all of a sudden you never meet the outlayer of what you're doing. You're always going to meet the worst of your kind or the best of your kind. Remember that. You think you're the baddest. I got my way. I got that. I handled that. But there's somebody else that's going to come and handle you. And they're going to be better at it. And they're going to be sharper. And they're going to be sneakier. And they're going to look even more legitimized. And you're going to be just in the jello in the hands of a baker, okay? You're going to be jello in the hands of a baker. I promise you, you're going to melt right under their control, domination, and manipulation. So what is the answer to all of this? Well, first of all, you've got to admit that you're enjoying the results. You are enjoying, if you've got MDCS, you are enjoying it. Even though you break down and cry, even though you're frustrated, even though you're agitated, even though it never works out like it should, even though it does not always give you the results you hope for, you still like the results. You love it. You love being in charge. You love being in charge. You know, the interesting thing about who we all are is that we'll never discover what the potentiality of who we are if we're always placating and walking in pretension of what we think we are. You first got to discover who you are, the potentiality of your purpose. And then you can strip down naked before the truth of who you are to be. In other words, if you really like to argue legal points, and you, if you're not a lawyer, then you're a paralegal. If you're not a paralegal, you're an arbitrator. If you're not an arbitrator, you're a union leader. If you're not a union leader, you're a union rep. But you find somewhere to fall with those gifts and those talents because you realize that I just can't keep my mouth shut. And I have embraced I can't keep my mouth shut, but there must be a purpose for me not keeping my mouth shut, not to use my mouth to cut everyday folks around me down and the ones that love me and support me down and give everybody else a piece of my mind when I should be trained. I need to take this skill and have it harnessed so it could be useful to me. That's an example of how you look at yourself and you realize that, hey, let me strip myself from the pretension. Let me strip myself from all of the hypocrisy, the hype of who I said I was. And let me look at the potential of what my giftings with my natural personality drippings would bring. And let me not falsify the document of my life. The results that you are getting out of sequence. See, that's good right there, coach. That's good right there. That MDCS will have you getting results out of sequence. Where you were supposed to be enjoying that, but that was supposed to be 10 years down the line. But you rearranged the schedule. You rearranged it. You manipulated the different dominoes and you dominated the environment and you switched it and you hid it and wow, man, you did that thing. And then 10 years down the later, when you're not fulfilled, you're wondering like, what the hell? Well, guess what? You wanted your way so bad. You wanted your way so bad. You got it. You got exactly what you thought you'd enjoy. And 10 years down the line, because it's going to take some time. Let me say that again. I said a decade down the line because it's going to take some time for you to see the error of your ways. When you have MDCS, it's going to take some bumps in the road. It's going to take some time. It's going to take some seasons of the cold and the hot. It's going to take winter, summer, spring, and fall for you to really know that you don't know it all. Okay, I need some help right there. And many of us have MDCS all day long. I realized even as a parent, I had a bit of that syndrome. See, because those who want to control have to do it through the arms of manipulation and domination. I'll say that again. Those who want to control have to use domination and manipulation often, and that domination and manipulation also uses emotional management to their advantage. Come on, now, I need some help right there. They use the epics of their emotions to harness results that are not earned and that are not honest. I said they use the tenets, that's the word I was looking for, the tenets of their emotions to birth a result or a plethora of results that are not honest and that are not properly earned to get an outcome that they want. And then you don't even know that you're doing it. You don't even know that because you know what? You never take the time to embrace a different perspective. You never take the time to ask a different question. Everything that you want is for your name to be cleared, for you to feel good, for you to come out all right. And as long as you try to save your life, you lose it. And when you start losing your life, then you'll save it. But until then, you will never perpetuate beyond your environment, because you won't admit any guilt. You won't be associated with the truth. I mean, I'm trying to help you out here. My job is not to diagnose your problem. I'm giving you some hints so that perhaps you can go back into your database, and you might have a therapist you need to go see. You might have a preacher you need to go get some prayer from. I don't know. But my calling is to get you to the finish line. That's what my calling is. I'm not here to soothe all your wounds, and I'm not here to pour salt in them either, but I'm here to, at least as a bystander, take a look at an open wound and say, somebody call 911. Mr. Coach, whatever you do, take care of yourself.
You're listening to the sounds of your lifestyle improvement station.
Hi, Jamaica Chapel, College Park, Georgia, in the house. You're listening to SIBN Radio.
Hi, this is Ted Bones calling from Richmond, Virginia, and you're listening to the Lifestyle Improvement Station, SIBN Radio. Y'all turn it up now.
Hi, this is VJ Washington calling from Atlanta, Georgia. You're listening to the Lifestyle Improvement Station, SIBN Radio. So turn it up.
Hi, my name is Sonia Claiborne from East St. Louis, Illinois, by way of Columbusville, Missouri. You're listening to the Lifestyle Improvement Station, SIBN Radio. Turn it up.
What's good? It's your boy Joe coming from Snellville, Georgia. You're listening to the Lifestyle Improvement Station, SIBN Radio. Y'all turn it up.
You're listening to the sounds of your lifestyle improvement station, changing the way we live. SIBN FM, powered by Select USA TV.
We interrupt this program to simply say thank you for your listenership here on SIBN Radio. We do not take what you're giving to us for granted. By all means, we invite you to be a part of our family in a deeper way. You can visit our websites, www.sibntelevision.com. You'll see a community page at the top there, and you can join free of charge with your email and share your thoughts, pictures, and so much more right there on the site. And for those of you that would like to listen more regularly to our block programming, you can visit www.sibnradio-by-selectusatv.com. We're now looking for interns for the SIBN networks, and there is no shortage of work that needs to be done. Simply email us your bio or resume to globalcoverage@selectusatv.info. New programming is always a consideration here at the networks, and we invite you to share your ideas, concepts, or vision. As we move forward with a global multimedia platform, we expect great things. We now want to return you to your regularly scheduled program. And again, from our hearts to yours, thank you.
You're listening to SIBN Radio on the Select USA TV iBroadcasting Network. You're listening to SIBN Radio.